element here, micro, small, and medium enterprises, and of course, the big space around digital infrastructure. Investments to enhance the productivity of agro-value chains, accelerate the growth of export manufacturing and surplus food production, thereby creating employment opportunities in the agriculture sector and food sector. Apparels, as was mentioned by my good friend Senator Kuhn here, is a big space for us, and we have major capabilities in that space, and we have enhanced our tax incentives to facilitate more companies to set up camp and expand our access to the market to the US. Likewise, investments in the universal health coverage strategy include vaccine and pharmaceutical manufacturing, as well as the production of medical commodities and biomedical supplies. This enhances our capacity to provide high-quality health services to citizens, promote self-sufficiency, as we were, rudely told by COVID-19, exports to meet regional demand, and create significant employment opportunities. Specifically, we now have in Kenya a special economic zone in Thika that will focus on pharmaceutical manufacturing. And I invite companies who want to explore opportunities in that space. Aside from us giving incentives on buying from locally manufactured products, you have the benefit of access to the East African market of 300 million people, and by extension, using the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, access to 1.4 billion people. If you're looking for market, if you're looking for opportunity, there you are. Further, our commitment to enhance our technology ecosystem to attract big tech companies and promote the incubation and scaling up of startups has positioned Kenya's Silicon Savannah as Africa's premier ICT and digital innovation destination. Our digital superhighway program, which involves laying an extra 100,000 kilometers of last-mile fiber optic infrastructure and establishing digital hubs nationwide, aims to create a digital ecosystem to promote the uptake of digital services and digital products. Additionally, leveraging on our huge green energy potential that enables Kenya to quickly become a global leader in the establishment of world-class green data infrastructure. You've seen this morning, we've just signed the deal which we have just witnessed between Microsoft, EcoCloud, and UAE G42 to build a 1 gigawatt data center using US technology, UAE capabilities, and Kenya's geothermal resources, demonstrating that the world is paying attention and investors like what they see in Kenya. Kenya's largest BPO company, CCI Global, has doubled its workforce, adding 4,000 jobs to serve American clients, highlighting the importance of ICT sector in our partnership. Just 2 weeks ago, I was opening one of their largest facilities that is deploying technology to serve companies, AT&T, JetBlue, and other companies here in the US. Additionally, Kenya leads in e-mobility. Yesterday, we had a conversation about how we are hosting over 30 companies with Ampersand and Rivian, choosing Kenya to make great things happen around e-mobility. And we are pushing the horizon. The Kenya government, in the next policy framework, will be eliminating all taxes for companies that will locally manufacture the first 100,000 two-wheelers and four-wheelers in Kenya to provide market. And government of Kenya will be buying the first 5,000 units of e-enabled motor vehicles to facilitate government transportation and to inspire companies that want to invest in that space. Our affordable housing program to construct 200,000 units annually over the next 5 years is a clear investment opportunity which also will not just create jobs, but it also creates opportunities for companies that can deploy modern technology in building houses affordably, sustainably, and cost-effectively. Kenya is committed to attracting a lot of foreign direct investment by creating a stable, transparent, and predictable business environment, continuously enhancing institutional frameworks, regulatory regimes, and providing incentives across the board. Our geostrategic position makes us the gateway to East and Central Africa, as well as the entire African continent. And Nairobi is a rational and strategic choice for global multinational companies, international organizations, and NGOs seeking to establish or expand their footprint in Africa. Kenya, thank you very much. You may want to know that Kenya hosts the only UN agency and UN headquarters in the Global South. And Kenya is globally renowned for a well-educated, and we are proud of them, highly skilled and enterprising population, including young men and women, whose motivation reflect the entrepreneurial spirit of our nation. We spend the highest budget on education, training, and skilling. And we do not consider it as spending, we consider it an investment, because we have seen the returns from our huge, very well-trained, motivated, creative, innovative human capital. Through intensive and consistent investment in modern, efficient infrastructure to improve transport, communication, and energy connectivity, Kenya further reinforces its unique position as a gateway to East, Central, and Southern Africa. In this connection, it is worthwhile to point out that 92% of our national grid is powered by renewable energy sources, and that we aim to have 100% clean energy grid by 2032. I know whenever I mention this, many people wonder how we've done it. And I want to tell you it only happens in Kenya. This places Kenya at the lead in manufacturing, industrialization, and production for the future, while being in harmony with nature. Recognizing that private sector plays requisite and is consistent, and the role private sector plays and is consistent and predictable operating environment, including tax policies for long-term investment so that people can decide what they want to do and looking at a greater horizon, Kenya has updated our tax policy guidelines. We are committed to continue this regime, and we have agreed that we are going to have a steady tax regime for the next 3 years. Let me also say we are doing this to meet the standard of stability and predictability that is required for any nation. So minimum 3 years, and in any event, until our tax code meets the highest standard of stability and predictability. Additionally, we have reviewed our digital services tax, aligning it with organizations or aligning it with the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, commonly known as OECD. VAT on exported services has been removed, and verified tax refunds claims will be processed within 6 months, failing which taxpayers can offset their claim against future tax liabilities without any further reference to the Kenya Revenue Authority. To accelerate, we have had a big problem with companies who tell us that our tax refunds have been delayed. So we decided that we need what the lawyers call quid pro quo. We need to do something so that this can be accomplished. So any tax refunds that are verified, they will either be paid within 6 months, or after 6 months, you net off those refunds with any tax that you're supposed to pay to government without any reference to the Kenya Revenue Authority. That way, everybody has an incentive to do the right thing. To accelerate the growth of highly innovative entrepreneurship and the incubation of the next generation of huge global brands, startup companies are exempt from paying tax on unrealized gains from employees' allocated shares, so that we can build the next brand of big tech companies. Additionally, to encourage greater investment in Kenya's ICT sector, we have abolished the provision of our national ICT policy, which required foreign companies to have a minimum 30% domestic equity. And you know, when Google came to me and told me, Mr. President, in your regulations, we are supposed to have 30% equity for us to set up camp in Kenya. Tell me which company is ready to pay 30% equity on Google. And there was no company. So we decided to remove the requirement altogether because it wasn't making sense. And today, under our new institutional posture, in terms of our reconfigured legislative and regulatory regime, over 100 foreign and local companies are thriving within our Kenya Special Economic Zone, and indeed every other part of our economy. And these global brands, and they are accelerating their growth also in our export manufacturing facilities. At last year's American Chamber of Commerce Summit in Nairobi, we committed to review our special economic zones and export processing zones laws to remove impediments to entry and attract local and foreign investments in higher numbers. Our special economic zone model is catalyzing investment, manufacturing, and exports, creating jobs and national wealth. Kenya's apparel exports to the US, for example, reached US dollars 544 million, with brands like Calvin Klein, Levi, Lee, and Wrangler sourcing from Kenya and creating over 12,000 jobs in the past 2 years. We are fast-tracking legislative reviews to enhance the Special Economic Zone investment scheme by the end of this year. And I have given very firm instructions to Rebecca and her team to accelerate that endeavor. Our genuine partnership, based on shared values, has improved Kenya's business environment through open discussion with investors and the American mission in Nairobi and the government of Kenya. Forums like this, therefore, crucial opportunities for us to answer the critical question that implicitly arises whenever I meet investors, industrialists, and entrepreneurs. What can I do for you? That's the constant question. To underscore the collective determination to sustain the momentum of our progress, the trilateral business dialogue has been launched between the American Chamber of Commerce, the government of Kenya, and the United States in a mandate, and is mandated to meet every quarter for the specific purpose of addressing challenges faced by investors in Kenya, and more specifically, US investors in Kenya. Our readiness to participate in processes like this arises from the fact that Kenya values the over 400 US companies we engaged with in the 4th American Chamber of Commerce Summit, as well as the hundreds that have chosen Kenya as the destination for their regional branches and headquarters. Our intention, therefore, is to ensure that companies like Amazon Web Services, Apple, Citigroup, Coca-Cola, and I had an opportunity to witness the investment by Coca-Cola of another $175 million in our country. Dell, Del Monte, General Electric, Google, Hello Tractor, IBM, Intel, Kentegra, MasterCard, Microsoft, Oracle, Synergy, Sun Agriculture, Victory Plum. Do I continue? All this. And I have not mentioned them in order of any priority. These are all our companies, and we have fantastic relationship with them. We want all of them to guarantee maximum value to their investors by realizing the full benefits of working from Kenya, working in Kenya, and working with Kenyans. My commitment, and that of the entire government, to make Kenya the best place to do business globally has already borne fruit. Kenya has been ranked the 3rd most attractive place to do business in Africa by the World Bank. I appreciate the American Chamber of Commerce in Kenya leadership and the US Ambassador to Kenya, Meg Whitman. Meg Whitman is God sent. And she's done, sometimes single-handedly, with her team in Nairobi, what would ordinarily be in the realm of miracles. Her leadership in establishing and sustaining important conversations, supporting productive dialogue, and pursuing implementation through effective collaboration has been outstanding. In particular, it has been fascinating to observe Ambassador Whitman in action. She has notably introduced a culture of 9 in my administration. Last year, we addressed some of the issues I have mentioned in my statement to conclusion. It was a conspicuous list of 9. This year, she brought another list of 9 that I promise that CS Miano and her team will fully address to further strengthen the business climate. Here is a historic opportunity to unlock Kenya's vast potential through effective partnerships to increase opportunities for investment, industrialization, and trade to deliver prosperity for millions of Kenyans and investment returns for our investors for now and for generations to come. Kenya works, and we mean business. When it comes to investment, we are ready for you. Together, let's bring your vision to reality, and let us build Kenya together with your companies. What we can do for you in 2024, that is my statement. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Please join us in welcoming to the stage Suzanne P. Clark, President and CEO of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, for the presentation of the U.S. Africa Business Center's Outstanding Leaders Award.